How's it going, everyone? Welcome. In today's video, we're going to be looking at some of the habits of successful people and how following some of these habits can put you on the path to achieving your goals. The first habit successful people follow is planning their schedule the night before. I've done this for many years now, and it has increased my productivity many times over. And it also prevents me from forgetting what I need to do. I like to keep it simple and write things down with pen and paper and cross them out as they get done. This has worked well for me because every time I cross something out, I feel motivated to finish everything on the list. However, there are times when I don't get everything done, so at the end of the day, you should go back and see what you didn't finish and add that to your new list along with the things you need to get done the next day. I like to take it a step further and list the big things I want to get done during the week. The items on this list are usually things I can't get done in one day, so I work on them throughout the week, which is why I have a separate list for them. And if you have very busy days and limited free time, then you can break down your day into clear activities and assign a time slot for everything and stick to that schedule. The point of this is to have a layout for how your day is going to look and help you be more productive by knowing exactly what you need to get done so you aren't feeling stressed at the end of the night because you forgot to do something. At the end of the day, we all have the same 24 hours, so the thing that separates the average person who doesn't get anything done from those people who accomplish many things is better planning. The second habit successful people follow is waking up early. That's because the earlier you wake up, the more time you have to get work done and be more productive. Waking up early is easier when you know exactly what you have to get done during the day, which is why planning out your day the night before is a great thing to do. Waking up early becomes easier once you train your body to wake up at the same time every day. And yes, it will be hard waking up at 6 a.m. if your body's used to getting up at 9 a.m. But after a while, your body will get used to waking up early and it won't be hard anymore. However, waking up early can mean different things for different people. Maybe for me that means waking up at 5 a.m. But for you, waking up early means waking up at 7 a.m. How early you wake up depends on several things like what time you go to bed or whether you're a morning person. If you're going to bed at 1 a.m., then you won't be getting up at 4 a.m. But if you go to bed at 9 p.m., then it will be much easier to wake up at 4 a.m. Waking up early is subjective and it all depends on the person. Obviously, you don't want to neglect getting enough sleep because that will affect your performance during the day. We should find the correct balance between getting enough sleep and maximizing the amount of hours you're awake. In general, waking up earlier gives you more time to get things done and be more productive. The third habit successful people follow is starting their day off right. This can mean different things for everyone. One of the most common morning activities is exercising. Some people choose to work out at the gym while others like to go jogging. Then there's people who like to swim. The point is, they all do some form of physical activity to get their blood flowing and get ready for the day. Studies have proven that sleep inertia, which is the period between a foggy brain and full wakefulness, can last for hours. So if you wake up and leave to work right away, your productivity at work could suffer. But if you do some physical activities in the morning, it can help your brain become alert. Another way to start your day right is having a healthy breakfast. This will give your body energy and give your brain the fuel it needs to tackle the day, and this will help you focus on what needs to get done and not on lunchtime because your stomach is growling. The next item on the list is that truly successful people are very frugal. This is the complete opposite of what you see in Hollywood, where rappers and celebrities are wearing all kinds of jewelry and the most expensive name brands. Successful people understand Gucci belts and Gucci shoes isn't going to help their company earn more nor help them land that big client. So why spend $1,000 on designer jeans when you can get high quality jeans for $50 and they both do the same job? This applies to everything and not just clothes. Why would you spend $500 on a fancy dinner when you can cook at home or at least have dinner at a less expensive restaurant? And we can't talk about being frugal without mentioning overspending on expensive cars. I'm sure many of you like cars, whether you're a woman and you like G-Wagons or Range Rovers, or you're a guy and you like Lambos or Ferraris. But when you're just getting started, it doesn't make sense to spend such crazy amounts of money on these cars. Truly successful people won't be impressed when you show up to a business meeting in your exotic car, but they will be impressed by a well-managed business. And that's why you see billionaires like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Mark Zuckerberg wearing cheap and basic everyday clothes and not Hermes suits because they understand those items don't add any real value to their lives. So instead of trying to look like you have endless amounts of money with your Lambo and diamond jewelry, focus on actually creating wealth. The fourth habit successful people do is budget and keep track of all of their money. Successful people create budgets for their money, whereas average people don't budget, and once they get their paycheck, they spend the money without any idea where their money goes. Successful people track where every penny goes, which allows them to better allocate their money into things that will benefit them in the long term. Also, successful people look at how their money moves and they pay attention to their cash flow. Even if you aren't good with numbers, you still need to understand where your money is going, and if you're leaking money somewhere, you must address it. This also applies to any businesses you own. You must pay attention to the cash flow of your business and understand where the money is going. This is where budgeting is important because if you begin spending on minor things here and there, you will make it a habit of overspending. Obviously, you shouldn't neglect your business in order to save a few dollars, but when you do make purchases for your business, you should shop around for the best deal. For example, if you spend 5 minutes on a phone call with a supplier and you save a few $1,000s on material, then those 5 minutes are worth your time all day long. By creating a budget, you establish guidelines for how your money will be spent and how much you will spend in each category. Then, by going back and looking at your numbers, whether it's your personal account or your business account, you'll begin to see a pattern and it will become a lot easier to make corrections than if you had no idea where your money is going. Also, if you're in a bad financial position, looking at your bank account and seeing it's at zero or close to zero is one of the biggest motivators out there. The fifth habit successful people have is setting goals for themselves and keeping track of them. All successful people have goals and not dreams because goals are something you can put on a timeline and work towards. They write down their goals and they have monthly goals, quarterly goals, annual goals, and even long-term goals. And everything they do is meant to get them closer to these goals. When you're defining exactly what you want to achieve, it becomes easier to stay on track and not give up on those goals. Many people say they don't write down their goals because when they write down their goals and they don't reach them, they feel like a failure and it brings their spirit down. But when this happens, and it will happen, you should become more motivated to work harder so next time you reach your goals. And look at it this way, if your goal is to make $200,000 this year but you only make $150,000, then that's better if you didn't have a goal and you only made $80,000. Setting goals shouldn't stop in your personal life. If you own a business, you should set goals for your business. Having clear and defined goals for your business and making sure all of your employees know and understand these goals will put everyone on the same page and everyone will work towards the same objective instead of having different people within your business work towards different goals and everyone falls short. So by outlining your goals and keeping track of them, you will remain focused and become more motivated to achieve your goals. The next habit successful people follow is they don't save, they invest. This doesn't mean you must invest every dollar you have because obviously you need cash to cover everyday expenses. But what I mean when I say successful people don't save, they invest, I'm talking about not keeping 100% of your money in a savings account or under your mattress. You will never hear of someone becoming wealthy simply by saving, unless of course your income is in the multi-millions, but most people don't have incomes that high, and even those who are making multi-millions, chances are they didn't get to that point by putting every penny they had in a savings account. They got to that point by investing. Successful people invest in assets that make them more money, and then that money makes them even more money. They invest in assets like real estate, stocks, or their businesses. And once those assets begin to produce money, they reinvest, and that's how they take a small company that no one has ever heard of and build it into one of the biggest in the world. This is known as compound interest, where interest earned is added to the principal, so that interest earns interest, and so on. Over time, compound interest can accomplish amazing things, and one of the best examples out there is Warren Buffett. It took him 24 years to go from being worth $1.4 million at age 32 to $1.4 billion at age 56. That's 24 years to make $1 billion, but then it only took him 3 years to make another $2.4 billion, and now he's worth around $80 billion. Then another great example of successful people building their wealth by investing and not saving is Elon Musk, who after selling PayPal to eBay for around $1.5 billion, he took his $165 million share and invested in companies like Tesla and SpaceX, whereas most people would have stopped there and spent all that money. But now Elon Musk is worth some $20 billion. So moral of the story is you won't become wealthy by hoarding cash. You must make that money go and work for you. The next habit successful people follow is they spend their money on smart purchases. Although most successful people are frugal, when they do make expensive purchases, they spend on items that will bring them more value than what it costs them. Warren Buffett is another great example for this topic because he is probably the best known billionaire who is extremely frugal, yet he travels on private jets and not on commercial flights. This is because private jets offer many benefits you can't get with flying commercial. The biggest benefit is all the time you get back when you fly private. When you fly commercial, you have to drive to an airport that has flights to where you're going, and if you live far from the airport, that can take a few hours. Then you have to check in and go through customs. And you have less control over any flight delays, whereas owning a jet, you can drive right up to your plane and be wheels up in a matter of minutes. And since private jets are smaller than commercial planes, you can land them in smaller airports, which means less driving and more time saved. Warren Buffett has said he can buy anything he wants, but he can't buy more time. So the reason people like Buffett have private jets is not because they are materialistic, but because the time they are saving is worth more than the cost of owning a jet. So next time you're thinking about making a big purchase, look at the big picture and ask yourself whether the return on the item outweighs the cost, and if it does, then you're making a smart purchase regardless of the price. Next habit successful people have is they are always learning something new. Successful people read around 50 books per year, whereas average people only read between 1 and 3. Books are a great and easy way to gain knowledge, and there's books on just about every subject. If you want to become better with your finances, there's books for that. If you want to learn about business, well, there's books for that too. And if you want to become motivated, you can read autobiographies. Successful people also invest in seminars and trainings, even if you only learn one thing from a seminar. If that one thing helps you run your business better and increase your revenue, then why wouldn't you make the investment? Spending a few $1,000s might seem like a lot, but when you consider that skill or knowledge will be with you for the rest of your life, any amount that changes you for the better is worth it. Then, successful people surround themselves with other successful people because who we choose to surround ourselves with impacts how we think, act, and feel on a daily basis. A young athlete will succeed if he surrounds himself with people who are going to push him to become better, not people who will encourage bad behavior and distract him from his potential. The same applies to you. You want to surround yourself with people who have positive attitudes and are going to encourage you to become better. The next habit successful people have in common is they hold themselves accountable and they do not play the victim card. Average people who aren't where they want to be blame it on someone else or something else. The market isn't good right now. The government isn't doing enough. The government has too many rules, or there isn't enough clients. Average people always find blame in everything except themselves, whereas successful people hold themselves accountable. They say things like, I didn't get them as a client because I didn't prepare hard enough, or I was late because I didn't leave early enough, and now I was late because there was too much traffic. When you put blame on someone else, your future depends on them changing the way they are. But if you put blame on yourself, your future depends on you making the change. And by holding yourself accountable, you have the ability to break out of the place you're currently in and get to the place you would like to be. So now it's up to you to take the information you just learned and begin adapting some of these habits. And with that being said, that concludes today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.